Hello, Homo sapiens. If you've been around for some time now, you probably would have noticed that the world has a serious plastic pollution issue. You would have probably seen the images of landfills filling up with trash, and you might have heard the not so recent news that a giant island of plastic has been forming in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. But why is plastic such an issue? Why is it not decomposing? Why a creature is not eating it up? And why is it so different than everything we've ever had in nature? The reason why plastic is so difficult to decompose is because it is made up of polymers. What are polymers? Well, they are long strands of chemicals that go together and form a larger structure. And the key aspect of these polymers are carbon-carbon bonds. And why are carbon-carbon bonds so special? Well, first of all, they spread out their charges evenly. This makes the carbon-carbon bond non-polar, which means it doesn't have an electric charge. This is different to, say, water. Water has a positive and negative charge. This lets it dissolve other substances. However, non-polar substances like plastics and oil cannot be dissolved, which is why it doesn't dissolve in water and which is why it doesn't dissolve in pretty much anything else. But if plastic is so strong, then why does it look like after you look at these landfills, the plastic seems to be melting or degrading? Well, this is because of a process known as fragmentation. Fragmentation is when larger pieces of plastic break down into smaller plastics. And when those pieces break down into even smaller pieces, and eventually you get plastics so small that they are called microplastics. These microplastics are pretty much everywhere now. They exist in the ocean, they exist on the land, they exist inside living creatures. For example, when a fish is eating up a shrimp, that shrimp would have already eaten up some microplastics because of its size. Those plastics get transferred to the fish, which then gets transferred to, let's say, a salmon, and that salmon eventually makes its way to your dinner plate, and you eat it, and the microplastics stay inside your body. If you were to get tested with microplastics, you would definitely have microplastics in you. These plastics can cause detrimental effects to human health. For example, recently, scientists did a test involving lab rats where they fed a batch microplastics and they fed a batch healthy food. The batch that had microplastics in them actually developed more heart disease than the batch without plastics. This is one of the reasons why microplastics are so harmful. They're everywhere. They are so small that even our immune system has trouble keeping them out. And they have fully integrated into modern society, modern life, modern animals, modern people, everything. Well, to brighten things up a bit, there is a lot of research going into plastic decomposition. People are looking into how to genetically modify animals to be able to break down those carbon-carbon bonds. And people are also looking into ways to make alternatives to plastic. How to make plastic decompose faster, or how to make organic plastic that actually can decompose. So, with enough time, with enough research and investment, things might actually start looking up for plastic pollution on this planet. So, keep your hopes up and keep innovating.